under God blue skies. I love it make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play your role, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Belize our hopes, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that must be happen under God blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's Wednesday morning, the 21st of May, 2025. Wherever you are this morning, we hope that you're bright. We hope you're up. And we are glad you're here, listening on Creme Radio, watching on XTV, getting us via our apps or social media streams or simulcast coverage. It's great having you for the people's conversation, Belize's conversation. WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I'm your host this morning, Mose, Hyde, and we trust that you have great health. Your energy levels are high, vibrations positive, and that your morning is spacious, flexible, that you will not only be present, but you'll be able to jump in. That's the part we love, when you're able to come in, jump in, reason, talk with the way, exchange views. We love it. That's why this exists, right here on Creme Radio and on XTV, live from 3304 Mandela Drive, back of the zinc fence, we say. Well, right now, as you should know, if you're a regular around here, if you're a newbie, we got to get you up to date here. We get started with what we call the preliminaries. So before we jump into the conversation, we got a news update for you. Before the news update, we do turn to the National Meteorological Service for a weather forecast, so we know exactly what kind of weather we can expect. Yesterday, me hot! today, more than likely, is going to be same. But we don't know that for a fact. We turn to our forecaster, Tariq Matthews, to tell us what kind of weather we can expect.
Good morning, Belize. Seasonably warm and dry conditions continues to dominate our weather. The 24-hour forecast, mostly sunny skies today and clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Little or no rainfall is expected. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 90 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 99 inland and 83 up in the hills. A heat alert is in effect for residents, especially those inland, are advised to stay hydrated and avoid outdoor activities as much as possible, especially during the afternoon hours. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 83 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 76 inland and 68 up in the hills. The winds will be from the east-southeast at 10 to 20 knots and the sea conditions will be moderate. A low tide will occur this morning at 11:03, a high tide this evening at 4:56, another low tide tonight at 11:35, and another high tide early tomorrow morning at 5:45. The sun rose this morning at 5:18 and will set this evening at 6:19. The moon will set this afternoon at 1:01 and will rise early tomorrow morning at 1:36. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for forest or brush fires will continue high. In the sargassum forecast, no significant improvement is expected in the sargassum situation during the next few days, as satellite and surface observations continue to show large quantities of sargassum over the area. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night: fair, warm and mostly dry conditions will continue on Thursday, then a slight increase in moisture is expected Thursday night. For a review of our forecast and other products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Now making the news this morning, reports are that family court driver, 53-year-old Raymond Alwick Belgrave, has passed away following a road traffic accident between mile 51 and 52 on the Philip Wilson Highway in front of the Caribbean Tires just outside Orange Walk Town. The incident occurred around 11 a.m. yesterday morning. Reports are that Belgrave was traveling northwards in his government-issued photon pickup truck when he lost control of the vehicle as he approached the roundabout at the entrance of Orange Walk. The pickup then flipped near a fence, went over it, and eventually came to a stop inside private property. Belgrave was found dead at the scene. On Monday night, leader of the opposition, Honorable Tracy Panton, posted on her Facebook page that she agrees with Justice Nadine Nabi's ruling in the Belize High Court on May 15 concerning the July 2020 state of emergency, which was challenged by 16 men who were detained for varying periods of time. Justice Nabi ruled the SOE to be unconstitutional as it violated the fundamental rights of those detained without justification. Panton is now calling on the government to pay the damages awarded by the High Court. In her Facebook post, she states, in part, this ruling is a powerful reminder. The rule of law must never be suspended without just cause. Emergency powers are not a blank check. They must be exercised with caution, transparency, and full respect for citizen rights. As the government continues to declare new SOEs, we urge strict adherence to constitutional safeguards. Arbitrary detention must never become a tool of the state. We call on the government to immediately settle the damages awarded by the court and to ensure that the constitutional rights of our Belizeans are fully protected. On Tuesday, UBAD Educational Foundation Chairperson Yaya Marin Coleman continued a one-woman protest in front of the Ministry of Education headquarters on North Front Street in Belize City, championing the UEF's push for a HARE Act. Marin Coleman explained why certain rules against hair in schools and workplace reflects discrimination.
Today, day 259 since UEF calling mostly on Tuesdays on WB for building a wider awareness for the listeners, viewers, and people streaming of what racism and discrimination is. And here discrimination, that one expression of racism. And it come with the colonial church-state system. And the Constitution of Belize offer the protection that Belizeans overall have a right to the freedom of cultural expression, and students in particular the right to education. UF expand with advocacy for bring pressure upon the Ministry of Education. That's why the OCHA in front of the Ministry of Education headquarters in Belize City and not Front Street, and to the Minister of Labour for so that Belizeans have the right of cultural expression for go to work and school with their hair any way they want as long as they clean, and as it relates to students, then they send them back home from school and just did already. So in the documented cases that we had, it was 11 cases over a period of a number of years. At the time when I did the research, I stopped at 2024 because that's when we started this campaign. But now we know in 2025, I think it was some ACC students. So the complicity of the government is that, like you say, ministers of education under both administration, chief executive officers and chief education and chief executive officers and chief education officers give lip service whenever a case is reported, and not all cases get reported. But just talking that, we need a national hair law with severe penalties for ensure that the violations stop. And so, for me, this gives me an opportunity. They're not like I want to walk up and down in the sun. What I want to drink something cold and read a book. But we only there because other people make sacrifices for we there. And so that learning exercise for me, people pass the brother. Within half an hour this morning, pass a nice bottle of water for me cold. But brother just pass give me juice. People stop and talk with me, tourists pass and ask questions. So I appreciate the opportunity where I have to engage people. And then not everybody always agree with you. So even when people don't agree with me, I still listen. And like one of the points where brother make one time when I'm in the OCHA, he said that, there are some public schools and there are some private schools that allow children to come and hear how they want. And that's true, I'm not saying that enough. There are some, but there are most of them.
Marin Coleman said with new ministers in place, she's hopeful that positive changes can be made.
Here we are again, about to start another academic year. The difference is we have one different minister of education. And I hope one different. Before I want to protest again next Tuesday, I want to walk from Ladyville to Belize City. I intend to write one letter to him. It just get in the 13th of March. I'm again time for settling leave it. Why hopeful with this one? Hopeful because he's a former teacher. And he never just one teacher. He have Oscar, Rukenia, have lived experience in a different areas of management, top management in education. So I hope that for him live experience will make him more sensitive and aware when we approach him on this. Now I know Florence Marin Jr., he's the Minister of Labour, because of the same concern we have for people who are employees. I have to send two of them one letter. Also, since the last time, we may meet with Human Rights Commissioner Belize because we look for solidarity groups. We had met with them in March, and then if we don't want follow-up action, but so far they don't follow up back with we yet. And then in December last year, I sent one email to the executive director of the NCFC. I checked book April, December, January, February, 4 months, that what? She said, you want to hear back from me the NME? I'm like, Sister, NME, I write you from December. She's like, that when I available for, I'm like, okay, fine, NME. And because they have one mandate as far as a human rights organization and one commission where responsible for advise the state when it comes to family and children, for their mandate so that they should be in alignment with what we do. So we're hopeful as we go forward, and the intention is we asked for a meeting with the ministers, and I intend for carry one delegation. Now remember now, for we business, the African descendants visualized as black people, I had to be very clear that black people I had to look out for. Now, once this law passed, and it will, trust I believe it will, that our Belizeans will benefit, so that everybody should have an interest. For me, ethical leadership matters. So I could say, I just want black people sit around the table, but that wouldn't be fair. So I don't want representation of all the so-called ethnic groups, but I don't work with anybody. You have to have one record of credibility and that you genuinely work for people in a meaningful way. And I prefer work with younger people, that they can't go in the ignorant. They have to go to a level of knowledge, for engage.
Yesterday, personnel from the Ministry of Education reiterated that what they issued in a press release dated August 31st, 2022 is still their position, and that they do not support the discriminatory practice of excluding children from school over here. In that release, the ministry stated it is true that school authorities do have the right to impose codes of conduct and general rules and guidelines for the proper administration of their schools. Students cannot, however, be removed from or denied admission to school because of the length of their hair. We call on all our partners to continue to work with the ministry to build a more equitable, accessible, and inclusive education system through which all students are guaranteed the opportunity to acquire knowledge and skills to build a better life for themselves and contribute to Belize's national development. Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner welcomed His Excellency Wilfred Moore, the ambassador of the Netherlands to Belize, when he paid a courtesy call at Belize City Hall. The purpose of the visit was to increase cooperation between Belize City and the Netherlands, especially in the field of sustainable urban development. The Belize City Council's ongoing e-mobility pilot project, which is supported by the European Union and aims to promote cleaner and more efficient mobility options within the city, was a major topic of debate. Additionally, in attendance was City Planner Carla Patnett, who gave an update on the floating boardwalk feasibility study, a Dutch-funded project aimed at enhancing pedestrian connectivity and coastal resilience along the southern foreshore. And that is the end of the morning news update. We will take ourselves a small break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to open up for a conversation. You know how we do things. You're listening to Creme Radio. You're watching XTV. We'll be right back.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative.
Welcome back. Wednesday morning, the 21st of May 2025. Mose Hyde in the saddle this morning, hosting the premier morning conversation, the people's conversation, the WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. And we've completed the preliminaries, which means that we can get down to the business of reasoning and exchanging thoughts. That's what we do. There's no desire in the host, that's me, to preach, to talk to myself. No, I want you on the line. That's why we have the phone here. It's not a prop. It's for you to utilize. The number is 280-5848. I repeat, 280-5848. That is the live line on this Wednesday morning. Lots of stuff to talk about. Always lots of stuff to talk about. But you know that when you call, that's what we are talking about. That's the way it works, right? That's the formula that we've had here for a bit. Ms. Kuna, morning to you. I don't know who to spread the false rumors that me and you no still, one, nothing wrong with people with the rumors. No love all the time, Ms. Kuna. We have our first call of the morning. Good morning, WB.
Morning, Mose. Morning, Belize. To say I am for calling Monday, but I never get a chance. Just on a couple updates. The Saturday night I had an issue. I had a water leak at the home where I hosted. And as I reported when I'm in the panel long stay at WC, concerns at BWS. So I had a number where on WhatsApp where you call, but when I never get a response, get frustrated. Two things are, and I brought this up to PUC before. BWS only have one 800 number for BTL users. So if you're a smartphone user, you can't get a free call. I'd encourage Belizeans to take down their numbers and keep them because you never know when you need BWS. And you can need them during the day, you can need them on the weekend. So Monday to Friday, the emergency number is 631-0784. You can call BWS on WhatsApp. That's a Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. 631-0784. After 5, it's 613-2975. 613-2175. Now, I had to give credit for when I waited to the one call after 7 on Saturday night. Big BWS truck pull up on one slimly black dude pull up. I mean, look at me like credit to me. Just about what I expect. Every day you. Within, I don't know, 20 minutes to fix it. So I really, black you guys. First I said, brother, how you learn to do this? BWS train you, or you gonna study plumbing, or that what I said? No, he said, my dad is an engineer at BWS. I do internship like my third year high school after I finished food farm. BWS called me back. That's the only job I ever have. But I think going 11 years old. Humbly, I was calling you, Captain. I thought I was called WB for you because, oftentimes I say I hear about black youth like them, but then they're about and the images when I portray, especially black inner city youth. That negative one, his name is Denroy McCord. Really, really proud of the youth. And we had a recent conversation about illiteracy and functional illiterate people and how they contribute to the development of Belize. And I just definitely want to big up that youth because I'm really proud of. Secondly, I may engage the public about the ongoing issue where UEF have with BWS. First time happened, UEF today going 29 years, and for the first time, I forget to pay the water bill January. BWS cut out water bill, no problem. I had issues with them because the whole of 2024, we usually pay flat rate for water, and the bill gone up. So for the whole year 2024, I don't pay like over $600. So I say, when they cut out the bill, I say, no problem, and get a plumber in. So it bothered me because I don't see no leaking in the bathroom. Anyways, I got a BWS, maybe in a March, and I said to them, well, I can't do nothing about it because I don't see no leaking at the place. And then the person said, well, they will ask for a meter verification. And I said, what that? And I said, well, somebody come on. I said, but how come nobody said this to me? The one the talk with you at the whole of 2024, nobody mentioned meter verification to me. Meter verification team come out and they say, indeed, you have one leak. And the recollection. A gun, an aspirin, and said the same thing. So people they tell me, just come in, pay $25, no problem. When a gun in, pay, complete the transaction, you have to give on paper and then you go pay to the cashier. The young man asked me for the paper back and I asked him why. He said, because I never paid the $200 deposit fee. I said, I know they pay the fee. Because at the point in a 19 whatever, when 29 years ago, when they put in the water, that was not a requirement. I asked for no, only never tell me another pay. Long story short, I got a PUC. This are the parts we get them on. PUC informs me that PUC could only do what the law tells me. And PUC only responsible for tariffs, like for increase, money. PUC don't have no regulation over telecommunications, water and sewage, and electricity as relates to the internal operations of these companies. They pretty much to do what they want to do. Other than cut all that tree, there's no way for a large one complaint and there's a process based on law for it to get addressed. Well, me Kakagana may choose for children. So PUC is still looking at the matter. PUC is still looking at the matter. Now, once PUC look at the matter, I get 2 calls back from BWS. BWS says PUC talked to them, and this is the first time with BWS thing. And I'll let to the right now that gives you a payment plan and say the issue is not the money. The issue is the principle. You can't enforce one policy where you never inform the public about. One day again, I call from BWS. They continue to talk to PUC, and listen to this stuff, and I want to have it good. My contention is a principle contention. And I make that plain to them. So then no call me one day and tell me, what BWS willing to do, that we classify UEF account as a residential account, and then the deposit for only $50. I say, that in itself is unprincipled, because I know that UEF Library of African Indigenous Studies is not a residence. I'm not arguing about the amount of the deposit. I argue with others that we not prepare the deposit because they never inform with, so that's our part with the partner. Mose, did you know that? Did you know that none of the utility companies...
So full disclosure, my water bill me due on Monday, so I 2 days late. So I did pan 10 days to go burn BWS because as soon as I come off of the show, I have to go to BWS go pay my water bill. BWS, I am on my way after the show. So I want to start with that. So I don't know if I did firm enough foot to go full and talk with my chest. I have to make you understand. If I seem a little bit restrained, there were circumstances beyond my control. When I don't pay off it after the show, my voice one gets stronger. I want to talk with more of me. Yeah, fullness. Yeah, so I've never been a fan of the whole approach to, I have been because of negligence, my own negligence. I've run myself into a situation where I've had to increase the amount of money where you have to deposit. So I am in that category. I am one of those offenders, and I have been so dealt with. I somehow, I think because of this show, and because people have complained about it, I was aware that this is what happens. And so I don't know if it's been tabled properly, legislated properly. I don't know any of that. I don't know how, I don't know how, well, obviously, whenever your money is actually being held, it's never going to come back to you. That has always been my position, that I will, until I die, unless I go and decide I want to live caveman style in the bush somewhere and live near one stream and boil the water for my personal use, most of us are connected customers to BWS till we're dead. And so if you hold the money and say this is just a deposit, and that deposit earns you interest, wherever it is you're holding it, it really and truly the money is yours. It's, I don't know how it works how you get back the money, if people get back the money. I haven't heard that part. So I've had this view, and again, BWS can correct me and say, no, the way how that works, boom, 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 boom. It's not my experience. I don't know the get it back part. I know if you run off all of them, if you run negligently or things get tense tight with you financially and you miss and they deal with you and you have to get back in your water. Because if the one thing will make you start out yourself fast, the one couple hours without water. like light, you go get your candle and boom, and you try to figure your thing, get one ice box, your fridge, no there. Listen, water, it's a different matter, sister. And so you do what you have to do. Again, these have been my concerns. Obviously, as no customer love the fact that they are called upon to just put down extra money beyond what they have to pay. Absolutely, there's been a history of people concerned when it comes to unusually high water bill and how you go about doing it. So if it is you want to evaluate something in your home, maybe it is the toilet or it is a leak, you're after the meter, that's how they look at it, it's on you. So you will have to get that examined. And so for people who are living, you would say, from hand to mouth, try figure out where they go on and with one unusual water bill. Some people get some water bills sometimes and they want to know if they're going to pool or something. And that's something will set people back. Because when you get a bill, all of a sudden, and I'm telling you, we've had calls come in, sister, where people get billed $600, like $900, like they're just, right? They end up in a bad situation. It's a hard situation. Then now you can't pay that. No, you end up now have to find as well a deposit to figure out how to pay. Challenging, again, especially for people who are just barely making it from day to day. I have no excuse. I was aware that if you violate and you late pay and they cut you out, you won't have to deposit, and so I end up in another category. But it's not a pleasant category, and I'm not particularly fond of it. I don't really think it's fair, but you know, we do have people where we have to be fair. You got people where do all kind of different things, you know, with the water, right? That's a thing that happens as well. But I think BWS and our utilities, for that matter, let me walk back way that. There was a time when BWS had a better outreach, more engaged publicly. I don't know if Brother Brown is still there, but he used to be a frequent caller in the early years of WUB, out of the customer service public relations of BWS. And so there was even though we would disagree, I think hearing from the reps engaging the public who are not only your customers, but literally we own BWS. So there was a time when we sold BWS and we're happy we own BWS again. I feel it to be the most foul privatization ever when we sold our water to a foreign company. So we love that we own it with our primary customers, and we want them to operate with us, engage us, and build informing conversations, discussions, hear our points of views, hear the point of views that we have, and then maybe they can do some and explain. I just want to remind you, be the rest of we. And I love that for we. And we have every right to say, listen, we would want to rethink this way and engage. They have not been as proactive, they have not been as consistent with engaging with us as they used to be. I hope that they would rethink that, and we commit to having consistent conversations with the public, who are not only customers, but really and truly we are the owners via the government majority shares in that company. I ain't not going further than that. You notice how controlled and soft-spoken I am. Me owning people, I have to go pay them people. I just want me to start you for make sure that how much I owe. So trust me, I'll be there, be the best friends. I'll be there right after 9. Right from here and short distance. You don't have to go cut me out, please. Don't do that. Because now, if I get cut out, Sister Yaya, I have nobody to blame but you. I tell you, as you said, listen, as you said, BWS, in my head, and you know if you see my face, but I could tell you, in my mind, oh, goodness gracious, why this morning, man?
I appreciate your input, and I do this because, and I tell you, I know they ask for no special favors. If there's one office in this country where I act like one total fool, the BWS. I don't know how they don't call police for me sometimes, and I lead with
improper, man. I can't support that. I can't support that. We must no.
Mose, listen to me. I don't merely act like one fool. I send email. I talk to supervisor.
Right.
And when that the same problem over and this, they're not only me got a problem, you know. All the customers that line got a problem.
Is Brother Haynes still the CEO? Or I don't know who is the.
I don't even know. Because when the CEO no answer my email, well then for the CEO at the time gets gone out too. So I said to the Belizean public in the line, why only the grumble staff?
Remember now, just to remind you, while you have a sour taste in your mouth for BWS, just to remind you that they did get involved with what was being proposed at the port. You remember that? They did have a
yes, they did.
They did have a backbone moment. I also want to remind you of that. Say, BWS, say how are they? Not touch me water, because actually they fight with my sister and leave it for no. Go ahead there, sister.
I remember at one moment, and then when I follow up with them again, they didn't respond. So then they kind of fence with me panda. Anyways, and I give credit where credit is due.
Right.
But I just say, listen, when you know 15th in a month, that line was usually longer. Why don't have people wait so long for service? Like, there's no excuse, and the attitude of the cashiers sometimes, I question it. So I give credit where credit is due. So I got every reason for going bad when I go on bad there. So then I go on better than usual. I'm not shame of it. I'm not proud of it. I just prefer, depending on the vibes I know at the time, I go on bad for it. Anyway, so I'm going to get you, and I have to go pay my bill right now too. So this is another thing I noticed. My bill due on the 15th, right? If you call and say, listen, I want come pay late. They tell me like, you only have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like 3 times for the air for late pay. I'm like, I feel that I can just make up things. That's how I feel. Yeah. But once I call and tell you I come in and pay, then, you know, I had approached BWS and BEL many years ago, and I said to them, I'm willing as a community worker at a cost to make work on going into communities and build awareness. I guess they never have no interest in it at the time. To come back to what you made, say that we need more engagement. Remember, we are the owners of these utility companies, and then need for other than raise bill that we know of, including increase the rates, they need to really develop one connection with the people in a meaningful way. But what I'm going to ask you, Mose, the answer is, if you may know that PUC not regulates the operation of these companies. Did you know that?
Regulate the operations. I don't.
So if a customer have one complaint, one valid complaint,
They do regulate. They do
the law.
regulate. They do. I think they might not have. I think that is misleading. There are aspects of their operations that PUC has to regulate. They're the public utility company. They're
the money.
No. They also, like, for example, they are responsible for like frequency management for telecommunications. No. There are technical parts of those operations that PUC is responsible for. I think what they're saying is that when it comes to the operations and the policies that they have, but even so, though, I know that when we have had conversations with PUC, that customer complaints have been forwarded to the PUC. I am very sure of that. So we can get the app and look at it. I don't know that I ever had that opinion, and I don't believe it's right. Whoever said the only thing that PUC does is tariff approval, rate approvals. That's not the length and breadth of PUC's regulatory responsibility. I know that for a fact. Now, when it comes to what their customer service policies are, and I don't imagine that is where PUC comes in, but definitely not just approve or deny rate increases. That's not the only thing that they do.
Okay, I could be corrected on that. The point that I'm making, though, is when it comes to customer concerns, because I care what customer concern to them, and they say, yeah, we're going to follow it up. But the understanding that's done what the law, that's what the PUC law says. Anyways, I contact somebody who's at Trinidad and Tobago, because I want to know if it's a norm. And I'm told that they had the same issue some time ago at Trinidad and Tobago, and the opposition party took it up as an issue, and they amended their law so that customers, that based on the law that's Trinidad and Tobago now, customers have one process, whatever the concern is with the utility company, they have one fair hearing of what the issue is.
Okay.
Now,
you do know that there is a Ministry of Public Utilities.
Well, I never think about the Ministry of Public Utilities. I just done a PUC because I think
there's a Ministry of Public Utilities.
Okay.
And that is the mechanism through which, and this is not reflected all the time in the way they do what they do, but technically the Ministry of Public Utilities is the mechanism through which the people of Belize own their companies. And so when we are having a user experience that is unpleasant, and we are not getting the right response at the level of the administration of that utility, then we have every right to then turn to those that we have put in place to have the ultimate governance and regulation over these entities, and who should be prompt in responding to us. So they should be called on to have a position on these matters as well. Because remember, the board of the utility essentially is set up by the political directorate, by the government, on our behalf.
I never think about that, Mose. So I really appreciate you saying that. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. One more thing, and I really, really appreciate having conversations with you because they make a rethink. From the conversation yesterday, I just feel strongly that we need to be able to have a public conversation when it comes to representation of people. For we, our representatives not adequately represent we. The people who we elect not adequately represent we. people in the organizations where Senate represent we, not adequately represent we. So how do you address, like, somebody said, like, which black people you talk for? What measurements you have that black people say you could talk for them? Which is a fair question to ask. So how do we deal with representation of people adequately, fairly? How we do that? And along with that, I'm learning that common interest is not enough. Just because you look after black people or you have one history of working on behalf of black people, or you have one history, I'm learning that that's not enough, because the issue, I've walked away from 5 or 6 local organizations in Belize. And the issue is consistently what I would say leadership.
Well,
and we don't have the conversations more. Just because we're black people, don't expect we are work together when we have questions about leadership and we're not having conversations publicly.
I think you could do work for. I think you can do outreach without the need for consensus. I think consensus becomes a requirement when you are going to go on the record on behalf of. If you're going to take a position and say, listen, I oppose this on behalf of these folks, but I have not engaged said folks to know where they are at. I can give a personal opinion. Like when I had the responsibility of being in an organization, I don't believe in sending out a press release saying that we as a body are against such and such if I did not create a process through which that those who you represent could weigh in. I can't pick a fight on behalf of without the understanding and the endorsement and the support of the membership. So if I would send out a press release, the press release would reflect, okay, this is the position of maybe the executive, or this is my opinion, which is different than me saying our organization has this view and is weighing in on this matter. If you are going into a consultation event or process, you are mandated to understand that you are not on your own. Take, for example, the Senate, which I feel has been, I am not a supporter of the present structure and formula being utilized. I consider it to be, it's the equivalent of saying, it's almost like say we are jump from one building to another building and say, but at least we get halfway. If you get halfway jumping from one building to the next building, it's still and drop down to the ground. As if though you take one step off of the building and drop to the ground, applauding ourselves for the fact that at least we reach halfway when the result is still the same, from my view, is ridiculous. I feel that empowering the Senate and making the Senate a mechanism that has a certain amount of autonomy and and strengthen it to do its role of oversight and enhance its ability to contain executive power, for me, is the other side that we want to leap to, and we have not made that leap. That's just my opinion, right? But let's look at it as it's presently set up. You have senators that represent various groups and various organizations. And when it first started out, you would have situations where you have very critical votes coming up. And all these organizations I feel and I have a sense, have been working hard to reach a point where their senators vote in a way that represent what their membership want. But they have a ways to go. Now, take for example, and it's not, I know it's not the most popular one, but just take for example, when I say most popular one for you, let's say the senator that represents the churches. I don't know, we don't know how often all the collaborators that represent, quote unquote, the church have engagement with the church senator. For that matter, I don't know how often those church leaders who choose their church senator engage the members of their respective congregations to know what it is they feel. So this is not to say that some of these are not automatic, right? Like some of these are easy, you know, if there is a vote to determine whether or not we believe in God or we don't believe in God, the church senator doesn't, you don't really have to go and get on consensus. You know, basically that's where they stand. But there are matters outside of their natural area of comfort, financial matters that they have to vote on, political matters, social matters that they have to vote on a regular basis. And I don't know that their systems of consultation and engagement with the membership has reached a point that is satisfactory. I would say no, but I do know that there's been a lot of improvement. I know, for example, there is a constant engagement with the senator, say that represents Labour at the level of the NTUCB, but I'm sure that there has to be a time when they're able to expand means through which rank and file members are able to input, reach the point here. So I feel, to answer your question, to answer your concern, that it's cultural, because not only do we want those who are chosen to represent to have the understanding of their responsibility to engage members, but we also have to be feeding the culture amongst the members that this is their, not just their right, but this is the only way to be. And so it's an overall culture adjustment for us to make representation in our society be something that has greater value and greater impact. So we are across the board, and you're aware of this. It's a leadership, aspiring leaders must start to reset the way they view taking positions as it relates to what their members and their ability to input what that decision is. And then the membership has to understand, no, you don't just choose somebody to represent you and then comfortable with the fact that you don't have a conversation with them ever again. So I think there's a lot of work to do. And we are constantly trying to advocate, demand, preach. Let's do better at this. That's my position, at least.
I appreciate the input. And then lastly, Monday was Ancestor Brother Malcolm X 100 Earth Day. I don't know if they even get the airtime where you should have get. But one of the things will make a member in particular, because somebody shared one article with me, will give one different perspective on the life of Brother Malcolm. And for sure, with all the right things will happen, and we know this tends to happen, especially when it comes to black women, that they're erased, not included, marginalized when it comes to the historical pages. And so what really excites me about this is that they sent up, I don't remember the name of Sister Betty Shabazz and Brother Malcolm X's third daughter. She wrote a book, right? And one of the things that she's saying in the book is that when people write or talk about their dad, they often give Elijah Muhammad mad credit for his consciousness. When she said really that was she mom, pop, who were garbage, grassroots garbage, who nurture, especially their mom. Because then you hear the narrative of their mom, you hear that, you know, she was in an abusive relationship, had mental issues, struggled after the murder of the partner, ended up institutionalized. But what we're not here is that how active their parents were in opening different branches of the UNIA. She was a recorded secretary, and that they instilled in her children she's from Grenada. The mother, Louise Little, was from Grenada. The importance of reading the Negro world, especially looking for articles written by Grenadians. How important global self-emancipation was. And that then plant that seed, and then Elijah Muhammad, she said, would be responsible like clearing the weeds from around that seed when it bloomed. And then they also looked for two other sisters who I never know about. One of their name was Gavin, Vicky Gavin, and then Queen Mother Moore, and how instrumental they were, and other women, especially after Brother Malcolm split from the Nation of Islam, in broadening his gender knowledge and the importance of Pan-Africanism. And so, for me, it really mattered as a black woman, because and even as a country person, like, I never think about that when I read about Malcolm life. I never think about like how they not censor black women and how crucial they were as he grew and his knowledge expanded into the aware person that he became. That ever cross your mind when you read anything about him, Mose?
I think I've always had a consciousness of the impact of his parents. In particular, I don't know if it was in the autobiography itself, where it has always resonated with me that while the father was strong and set a great example, that his mother was not missing a beat insofar as the consciousness and having the impact on a young Malcolm and the way that he was. I've always and as well the strength of his wife as well. So I've always had that kind of reverence for, in particular, those two women around the iconic Malcolm X and the impact that they had. So I can't right now, out of the top of my head, just attribute it to one particular thing I read or where I read it. I just know that I've always had that. Sister, I got to go to 2 cents.
Thanks for the reading.
I hope you don't get me in trouble with BWS, that's for sure. And with that said, we're going to go to our first break of the morning. After 2 cents calm, sponsored by 4 Point Securities. It's a lot to talk about. We still have time though. It's Wednesday morning, 21st of May, 2025. We will be back.
You're watching WUB, this is XTV. Big respect to our sponsors, 4 Point Security. We are at Sadie Vernon, and they're getting ready for their prom. So you know what happened? We're going to find out their 2 cents and see how they feel about the big prom coming up. Done. Prom is coming up, right? How do you feel about it? After the 4 years, right?
Yes, 4 years. Well, I feel excited. I'm much very ready for this moment. I'm going to wait 4 years just for this day. I just wait to get my hair, nails done, everything look good for the night and everything.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
You know, I heard a long time. 4 years that I'm with him. Can't forget my hair done, nails done, toes done. Just clock that tick, clock it!
How I feel when I'm at time for go to prom?
Yeah.
I feel good, man, because I'm a kid out of the high school. I feel up to par, man.
All right. How you, Papa?
My turn when I time for prom, yeah, be special. Those are nice ones, girl.
What? A nice one? How you? What you get a dream? Can't anybody got a dream from it, right? How you?
I also find my next dream.
Yeah. But you have a dream.
No?
We don't walk here.
What dream, girl?
Yeah. Like,
Oh, yes, man.
All right.
Okay, my dream, girl.
right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde hosting on this Wednesday morning, 21st of May, 2025. Lot of things to talk about. That's what we do Monday to Friday. Creme Radio on XTV. Telephone number 280-5848, and we've got somebody on hold. Creme, good morning. What are you going?
What about Mose, everything, man?
What's up, my brother?
Boy,
You're not called for one back your shirt. I hope not.
No, Ben. There's much more important things to focus on.
All right.
You got to go to human this morning, man. You know what I'm saying? Mose, there's a couple things. Well, one thing I want to touch, right?
Right.
And it's going directly from the streets instead of from me. That's my views and my opinion, because this happened like a chose thrown away, but it was an issue like couple weeks ago. Remember this talking about cars running around in our traffic community, Catholic community traffic, very trafficking, right? And Mose said to say that it turned out, according to my understanding from the streets, is that because you know that in my office, I come from my desk, the file come from my desk that somebody passed away who was in a coma, who get hit by one horse. So if you ask me what part and get hit, how he get hit, I don't know. But I know the night when I got a shop.
When did this happen? Where did this happen, sir?
This happened in the Lake area, but this happened, I think, about 3 days ago or 4 days ago.
Was this reported? This was not reported in the news? Like, I never see this.
No, I don't think it's in the news.
So the horse, when you say get hit by the horse, like the horse kick on or something like that? Like,
I don't know if it kick on or if it knock on down. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I just say, I put my thing together.
The horse, okay, but you are saying, you say you're not share with me one rumor. You're to share with me something that you are confident is a fact. That somebody.
No, that's what the streets say. No, that's what the streets say. That didn't bring it to my attention.
So, no, but you see, when you report it, then you have to say, well, how reliable is the information? Because we don't want to have a reaction to something we might just
That's the reason why I explain myself in a different sector for your more. That make you know, I don't know if the man did, I don't know if it knock on. The night when I got in a shop, the talking, the day, look at me, don't happen, don't get an ambulance.
And the person, and the report where you get, is that?
Well, at the time, with the 10 channel, the all type of story of the year, the all type of report, one film of the year, the house kicker, one film of the year.
But how come that not up in the news? Like, that's strange.
Huh?
That's strange. So, we had a situation where maybe some people get up this morning and say, well, the harsh revenge. Because now, a couple of weeks ago, we had in the news where some youths attack on horse, and that made a big.
I don't reach there yet. You don't make a reach there yet.
I know to try jump all over your report. I just try.
You don't jump all over my report. You don't make up my pockets together.
Go through, brother. Go through. You do you. Then I want to jump in. Then because
yes, child. Easier.
Make your point. Make your point.
My point where I try to get at most is that as a society we feel. All of we feel. Because for a long time, all of we say has to run all over this city in a different community. And when people address the police department to make them do something about it, the police department say that the state council duty that. You know what I'm saying? It's like a blame game. But my point where I try to get at most is that as a society, all of we blame, because the last couple of days or couple of weeks, remember when they destroyed the house, when they chopped the house, you remember that incident? Remember how bad people got out for that?
Yeah.
You remember how bad people got out for that?
Yeah.
Now as we speak, we lose our life. Now that on my job to kind of bring news to you, like I got 4 bill and receipt when the reality is they're in the media. I want to give the media the opportunity to make they bring out the correct information.
Gotcha, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because in the streets, if I mess with the streets.
So your point is that reason why we all for blame that because we have accepted seeing horses they operating in the urban space are not properly contain, and that then things don't mix. Horse they run wrong traffic area where people there, kids there, that there is a risk to human beings as well as a risk to horses from human beings, and that it should have been.
Exactly my point.
We need to have protocol regulations about who could own a horse, what are the responsibilities for own a horse in our urban setting.
We don't want to reach it. We want to reach to the point by the end of the day, all our cities, including myself, all our cities every day and see danger every day and nobody never put a stop to it. Even when
I see your point. I see your point.
Yeah, even when we have a big discussion the other day, big debate the other day with the house when they get chopped, they want to know how to charge the individual, they want to know if you get charged, they want to look at you not going to laugh at that. My point what I say is that all the way we as a society like wait till something happens when you could have prevented. You know what I'm saying? Because we complain about it. Because people have been complaining about it, but this has to run around in the city for a long time. Has to run back at Farbers, has to run in a Lake High, has to run back at Kings Park, like has got license for the inner traffic.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It's risky.
Gotcha.
No. The thing is, when man lose the life, I think the man may have coma. Today I want to get a
allegedly, because we don't know it for being a fact, but that it's alleged.
Make I say allegedly then. Make I put it like that.
This is how it happened. Again, I know they said that the people. I know they tell you that the people in the makeup on story. I would appreciate if anybody could verify and confirm, like they could agree and call and do that. And I know they doubt the story. I just say, it has not been reported, but it appears that somebody was struck by a horse and has now succumbed to the injuries that were caused by that incident.
The thing what bother me
yes,
is
sir.
that we could have prevent in Mose.
We hear
There's
you.
a lot of things in this country where we just take for granted.
So now that you're a man of great common sense, which you are, common sense and experience, they say common sense not common. You tell me before you let me touch this issue while you're upon here. Yesterday I spoke about what was in the news on Monday night, which apparently the whole thing gone crazy on social media, where a lady went into a place that we know and like, Spooner's Reggae Cafe, ate a meal, the meal and everything come up to about $48.50. The lady then gave them a bank card. The bank card was rejected, and what ended up happening was that the establishment forwarded the matter to the police. The police went, arrested the lady. They took the lady to court. They charged.
Wait, hold up. You mean they carried the lady to court for food?
Yeah.
They carried the lady to court because you don't pay for your food because it can't.
So just like how you breaks me when I jump in the middle of your story, I will return the favor. Hold your horses.
Forward.
Hold your horses now. So the lady the police then came on, he ended up front on judge, and the judge put one bail of $500 on the lady.
Jesus.
And then the lady never got $500 because the lady never had $40.50 to pay for the food. So so there was nobody apparently. Remember now, I'm just giving you the details up to when I spoke on the matter yesterday morning. Now there are more details that have come out since then, but let me just get you up to speed since you don't know the details. So anyhow, the lady ended up in jail. And then we would find out via the news that it's reported, Channel 7 reported last night, that they interviewed the person's family. No, it's an update. The lady is no longer in jail because the establishment has dropped the charges, and so she's not in jail anymore. But in an interview with a family member, we've found out now that the lady does have a mental illness issue. She apparently is, she's actually somebody who has left the States and come back home. So she left from Belize when she was a child. She has come back now, and she's come back and she's been struggling with dealing with kind of getting integrated with family, then dealing with her own mental health issues. So there is some background to this. And of course, you know that the bedroom we run Reggae Spooner's Cafe right now, that we bally that. Just for full disclosure, that we bedroom that, we made it for week. Handle it with love. You know that, right, Brick? So, yep. So even from yesterday, I said, listen, I don't crucify the establishment for wanting money. I can't crucify my establishment for say, listen, you're the one I read for me. I want my money. No. My concern was that the person who have all the control here is the judge. And in my view, the judge, you have to be careful how you criticize judges. You never know when you might end up front of them. But we have to call a spade a spade. The judge has certain leeway, and in fact, after I made my comments on here yesterday, somebody that is very familiar and acquainted with the judiciary, is plugged in, enlightened me to say, well, yes, the judge had different options. In fact, one of the options that the judge had was to allow the person to do self-bail. So that is an option that is available, because it's not like you have to provide the money when you are going to do this. Yeah. And so the judge, while you're holding the person accountable, which is fair, listen, people where they run our business, we've had situations where we have sat down and stayed quiet when people go to jail for take one can of baby milk from out of the supermarket. We've never said that we not burn out the supermarket. We said the system wrong for make the lady go to jail. Right? The supermarket can't allow people to just walk in there and take things off of the shelf. But where we have voiced our criticism, we say, but if we catch somebody and a baby milk them in the take, no, make we have discretion and understanding. Make we see how we could work it out. We don't want the person in up that jail. We hold the person accountable, but jail and where we want to end up. So that's what I come into this today. So apparently, people just gone off on Reggae Spooners and say manners a thing that the business is wrong and cold-hearted and whatever. And my view is that, no, the problem is this matter reached in front of a judge, and the judge had in my view, the duty to use discretion and say, listen, you eat one food, you're not pay for the food. The food come up to $48.50, and my argument is that if that lady comes to the public or a family member or anybody where they out here know that somebody, whether they got mental illness or not, is about to go to jail over food, watch out, we are chip in where we have to chip in, but we not sit down and watch and say she go to jail over that. But the judge set the bail, and the judge comes and say, okay, you could self-bail, but you have 1 week or 2 weeks whereby you have to try to figure out you get back this money, and family or friends or just community which now come forward, people are willing to pay the bill immediately yesterday, which is good. I love the fact that people had a level of compassion and empathy with part they never want to see the lady at jail. I just think that we're going the wrong direction. We the burn out the establishment, like I said, and you know this too, Brick. We watch people go to jail for thief baby milk from supermarket, but we not condemn the supermarkets. We have never had that happen. So
we share the video.
You see there?
Now the type of people we share the video, and we have our own views, our own opinion on it. Some song hardcore, some song hilarious, jokey, some song funny. But the reality is, we support anything there. Now make I tell you my piece. You can't, there's outside to how you do things. The people at the establishment never know the condition and the position at the time. You understand? It was a normal transaction of business.
Right.
right? I mean, let's give people a due. Now the lady, her condition is not like we know her condition. And if you know some of the establishment, they usually want to take that money out of the wages or the waiter salary. They make the establishment don't have one blame. It could be that way. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. But my thing is this: is that you can't mix in an owner business and doing everyday business transaction with the customer. You understand? No, you got a court. When you got a court, I know what sit down here and say what the judge never said. But I know that judge may have a concern to find out why such things happen. You understand? I don't want to sit down here and burn out the judge and say, oh, the judge just make a decision. No. The judge...
No, come and say how I burn. No. No, come and say I burn out the judge.
No, we don't do that. That's what I say.
I know the burn out the judge. I disagree. I'm disagreeing with the judge. I have the right to do that. That is not an offense. That is not contempt. I disagree with the judge. And let me just mention quickly that I did speak with the proprietor yesterday. In fact, he was not even in the country. He's not even here. So he was not involved with it. But obviously, he's going to have to stand behind the people who are there representing him. And if you know, your boss not there.
Yeah.
Right?
So you know make that right. You know.
Yeah. So, but your boss not there, and you know why your boss not there, and when a situation happen like that, and then the boss, you just use your discretion and say, yeah, allow it. You have to understand the shoes where that person they where they're on the front line. So
Yep. I know. I mean, to make some decisions, sometimes you rather wait till you get it okay from the boss. You don't want to keep on your own.
Yeah, you're there on a spot. You're there on a spot. So
and that's the one of the things where I can't understand as a society with we people. Like some people just can't respect that. Some people expect you jump the gun and make decisions by your own when you have somebody where you have to answer to. And that happened. Was anything happen everywhere?
I know. Listen, as an employer, you want to empower your people, and especially if they're on the front line, you want your best to make them be able to make one discretionary call. Like something happened, like for example, you are not. Let's say you have a restaurant, right? And let's say a customer complains about the food. The boss is not here. Your team member will have to make one call. Listen, sorry about that. Listen, just give me this back. We're gonna do it over. We're gonna replace it. We're gonna do what we need for do. That person has to be empowered to make that decision. You feel me?
I will help Mose.
So I just want it to be clear.
Yeah.
That I rate, and I'm proud of the fact that the majority of people who made comments had one level of compassion for this woman.
Because we don't need type of people anymore.
That's a beautiful.
Originally, that's who we are.
That's a beautiful thing, brother.
That's why I tell you, we are the type of people when we could have prevent something from happening and get out of hand, we sit down and we lift it till it get out of control. You understand?
Yeah.
That are the type of people we. I mean, listen to me. There's a lot of things we could prevent more from going wrong. But sometimes like right now, most me to tell you this, right? Right now, you see this new generation, youths, you can't talk to them because they know everything. You can't advise them because they know everything. They make you know you don't live up your time, but my time to live mine. And I want to live mine so I want. You know what I mean right now? Thunder under the grave. You know what I mean? Thunder the jail. You must have a good for it because by the end of the day, the reality is they can't live your kind of no grand life here. You get what I'm saying? They are the reality, what we face. And that's why, if we touch a quick topic for you, that's the reason why in the streets, the crime situation cannot control, it just escalate because by the end of the day, the reality is that the key people and the key points they have to touch are overlooked. You get what I'm saying? Are overlooked. That not everybody you could target, that not everybody you could help, that not everybody you could advise. But to get fresh blood, when you look at step in this arena, we have opportunities. You know what I'm saying? We have talent. You know, people will could make one difference. So, you know, each one of the youth in the street, they have a vision, but that we the elders kill their vision, because when they bring up their vision to you, and when the dream is about retailing outright, I don't see that the work for you. I don't see you to do that. You understand? Then the reality will refuse every day.
All right, brother. Give thanks for the reasoning. Give thanks for the common sense. Respect. This is WB Wakeability's Morning Vibes. It's a minute after 8 o'clock, Wednesday morning. We invite you to jump in, weigh in, call, reason. That's what we prefer. We don't want to preach and we don't want to talk to ourselves. These are the people's conversation right up until 9 o'clock this morning. But right now, we're going to take our break. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes, Wednesday, 21st of May, 2025. We don't like talk to ourselves, we don't like preach. We love when you call, we love when you reason. So do that at 280-5848. That's it. It's live line for our conversation. Just jump in, tell us your views. We love it. So we did one of the things we wanted to touch on, and again, just to reiterate this fact, we spoke about this story that has kind of ran red hot on social media yesterday. People having very strong emotions. Great that people care. But we have a call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Good morning, Most High, blessed.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. From my experience growing up in Belize, because I had a Yankee kind of Belize when I was 13, with that horse situation. But first of all, Belize the animal control department. But from my experience growing up, because I've been a part of those kids in Dangriga, I didn't know I was just being out with my friends. They go chase horse all day, but the average horse owner can't afford to feed their horses. Horses are like chickens or dogs. At nighttime, they know where the house is. They have a sense. They backtrace where they live at and everything. But the average horse owner let their horse go out there and graze on grass in other fields in other parts of the community because they can't afford to graze where they live at. There's no resource of food, so they just let their horse go wild out in the streets to go find food. That's the main thing why you see so much horses out there that are free in Belize City or in Dangriga or whatever. That's the main resource, that's the main excuse why you see horses are free, is to go out there and go find food for themselves because they can't find food at home. So the owner let them off the hook. But you guys need an animal control to impound them like a car impound the horses, and charge the customer or the owner $500 or $1,000 to get his horse out of the compound like a car and everything, because the horse owner is responsible for any injuries out there on the streets if he has the right documentation for his paper. If a car hit that horse, or if the horse hit somebody, or back kick somebody like the other caller said, he's responsible for that horse, even though he's off his leash, And I used to be a part of that stuff growing up in Belize because I thought it was a fun and a game with my friends. I didn't know, in America, I got Nintendo and Atari and all these games in America, but when I had to go to Belize, I had to go create these games that my friends are playing on the street. So, yes, you guys need some type of animal control, impound all these horses.
You can't get horse in the traffic. You can't get horse.
Exactly.
You can't get horse in the traffic. You can't get horse amongst crowd.
Right.
Again, we don't know. I hope that somebody who knows for a fact can confirm that somebody was struck by a horse and as a result they have died. Like that is the report that we got. I know into horse. The first time I tried riding one horse, the horse never want to move. That me want agree show in front of a lot of people. I get on the horse and they watch a picnic on the horse and the horse move. I get on the horse and the horse never want to move. And I said, well, that a hit for me a horse. Did end up get on my horse eventually and the horse did move. That was okay, but I ain't no horseman better. I know the pan of that. I know I feel like horse are a pretty dangerous thing. It's big and strong. So I keep my distance. If I see
like
you...
I said, 9 times out of 10, when you say horse free, this owner unleashed him to go out there go find food to eat. That's the most excuse I see from my friends who have horses in Dangriga 60 and these other dudes or whatever. They let the horses go to go find food, and at the end of the day, like a chicken, they go back to their foal coop or go back to their stable. So the lady at the schooners and everything, I always wanted to go to that place. It seemed like they got a variety of food. What location is that restaurant at? It's
a North Fun Street. It's a North Fun Street.
Spring Bridge?
right down off of Swing Bridge, probably about 6-7 properties down on the right
So
side.
going towards like, let's say, going towards the seaside, because between bridge you go by the seaside in that area.
Yeah. Listen, you come off of Swing Bridge and it's right on the riverside. Like it's when you go to the back side, the river is right there, and then you're coming off on North Front Street. You know where the library used to be, or is the
No, I don't know nothing about Belize City. The only thing I know about Belize City is MCC grounds and Civic Center.
Anyway, you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Easy to find.
Yeah, okay.
Easy to find. And again,
anyway, you guys,
it's okay to rally and ride with the lady. It's okay. That's good. But to condemn a business for being a business, I'm not joining of that. I feel like the judge had the power to make the situation work out in a more workable way. Like just make it less dramatic, less. The lady no business than no jail. Like even if she didn't have a mental illness, no. And it could have been a young person, it could have been an old person, it could have been a man, one boy, one woman, one granny and grandpa. For me, this question is always important. For me, jail, they're not a place for somebody who would do something like this. I don't even know that if you're found out guilty. So the thing is, if you're found out guilty right there, is the penalty even a jail sentence? Right? Like.
Right.
So how, because you don't have the bail end up that jail, right? When there is the option for self bail something at this level, again, I repeat, we have seen people, and rightfully we are very upset when somebody goes to jail over, say for example, we've had mothers steal baby milk. We don't like it, and we're right for not like it. It's not that we say it encourage stealing. No, don't steal. Do something. We don't like stealing. It's not a matter of endorsing stealing. And it's not to say listen, and it's not like you say okay, let's say the judge say okay, you thief baby milk from this place. You know what? You have to give this place 2 hours help with the sweeping in the yard, pick up something, do something for what you have done. Like hold a person accountable, but let it be let it be with a level of compassion and a kind of one just approach. Like jail, that's a certain kind of crime. If you ask me, stealing baby milk for your baby.
You know, Brother Moses. In my family, my cousins, them Tracy, like Daddy Tracy. We have a restaurant, Tracy's Restaurant, on Western in LA and everything. Or, I work in a restaurant that's a prep cook and all that stuff when I was small and everything. Well, even has experience as a juvenile 18 going to Denny's and stuff like that. Some of us kids will go to restaurants and go charge up a tab of $200 because you don't pay in America until you finish eat, And there goes back door, little Joe, goes to the back door after you finish eat with a 300 tab hasn't been paid off. So you got mental illness, and you got some people that do these things as a hobby and a career too. I'm not saying her, but it has happened around what I
Absolutely. You have people who are career shoplifters. Yes, I completely understand that. We're not endorsing that at all. But thanks very much for your call. The telephone number is 280-5848. That's the live line that you can participate in the conversation and give us your view and your opinion. Like I said before, we got a report that a man has died as a result of incident with a horse. Apparently the horse hit him and he was in a coma and he died. I didn't see that in the news or heard it or read it. Krem, good morning, WB.
Yeah, morning, brother Mose.
Good morning, sir.
Well, I've been listening to your show quite some time, and I've been hearing complaints about these youths railing down the street with horses quite a while, and people caballing, crying to the authorities to get to do something about it. Unfortunately, if that report is true, it is a very sad situation. Condolences to the family if it's so. But the authorities, they need to tighten up. On a big Saturday morning, these guys are racing those horses downtown. And I mean, any loss of life is not acceptable because of these negligence behavior.
Got it.
So we plead again to the authorities to look into it. Tara, imagine in the Lake Hyde area, people are barely living a day-to-day life, but they have money to buy a horse for their kids. That's very sad.
All right, my brother. Give thanks.
To that, my brother.
Give thanks for your reasoning. I didn't know horses were racing downtown on a Saturday morning. I've seen horses race down right here in front of us. That has happened. I've seen some youths deal with some horse. I feel like I don't think that it's a matter of people buying these horses for their kids. I think that people have horses. Maybe they use them for various activities. Maybe they have a horse and carriage thing going on, or you have some people who have on a farm and they got a horse, they bring her in a town. I don't think it's a matter of just get on kid and horse. Sometimes these kids actually go on and just take the horse. WB, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. With TV Nafi, my brother Mo.
Greetings, brother.
I always like say I don't like buy friendship, I don't like sell friendship, I like make friendship. But I have to share with you that we have a couple things in common because some years ago I took a photograph with a baby, which is my granddaughter. And for some reason, the group of people that was around there, after they saw the picture, they said, "Oh, you look like Mose Hyde," right? So that's the first thing. The next thing you mentioned that you and Mosquito can't get along, and I am the same way. And you mentioned when you go to Key, and so you don't know man will like go in a beach or so. Likewise, I don't like it because the sea is like too itchy to me after I come out of the sea.
No, I love the sea. Well, I don't love that. I don't know nobody when lay down on no beach. That ain't my game. I don't into beach, I don't into pool, but the sea.
Like take some bath and so.
No, I don't know. Some people love lie down on the beach and enjoy the beach and upon the sea sand. I know all of that. I want you to see I don't into.
I like the water, but I already come out and go rinse off because it itches my skin too much.
Me love salt.
This morning, a while ago, you mentioned you understood at early age that you and Hyde are no friends.
No, sir.
And the same thing with me. I was about 14 when I was introduced to a horse in a farm that I was supposed to be working. And believe you me, I see everybody jump on a horse, and the moment they bring that to me, he start to jump and do all kind of things. I said, no, I tell the boss, please, no, I don't want to ride that. If I did not walk away from the farm, I don't want to be no horse. Because if he could, they are like that, no. Anyway, my 2 cents about the lady in the restaurant, I think, born in Spain, I say, Wadada, where is the love from the George's area and the restaurant area? Two-sided love. Because I could tell you as personal experience, I had a misunderstanding with a merchant some years ago. And of course, the merchant have the money. I'm just a simple street vendor. So we went to the station, and believe you me, the station have nothing to the time to listen to what I have to say. They embraced the man, which was a merchant, and is still one of those East Indian merchants. And they have everything, only he have the right for everything. I don't have no right. The only right I had at the moment, just like they say the obvious Scorpio, you have the right to remain silent. pump the dashboard of his house, and no idea, nothing from me. Next day, the same night, it was at night around 6:37. They took the man to a doctor, their favorite doctor, the one who worked for this department for many years. They carried the man there, and the man come back with a bandage on the two eyebrow and somewhere around the nose and so. So the charges is that I assault the man. But nobody want to hear my side. Nobody did hear nor want to hear my side. I went to the court, and immediately I was charged $105. And because you're crazy, you grieve your salary, and that's it. Done. Nobody listened to my version. Nobody wants to hear. And then I had no experience in courts. It was my first time. So the point is, you have certain areas where certain people have no joy, no justice. As I said, no love. Nobody no look out for us. I don't know if the lady was according to the name. Maybe the ladies are Afro-descendant, Afro-Belizean. I believe in many cases that is our problem, including me. When you come to a Afro person, you did it, and that's it. Just your color don't say that you did it. Nobody want to hear. So I paid for that case, and up to this day, but almost from the 80s, may I say around 1980 something, up to this day, I appear because of that verdict that the judge took as a criminal in the police records of Belize. I'm a criminal according to that record of that previous harm. So no love. Then we find out to wrap up. I don't want to I went to a restaurant also on Albert Street, so people know a Blueberry restaurant. Most people know Blueberry restaurant.
Yeah, it's no longer open,
I
but
forgot my wallet. When I ready for pay, I remember my wallet not there with me. My wallet there at the next pants home. So I explained to the man, and I hand the man my little suitcase I had with me. I tell her, you allow me go home and pick out the money and come back. The man said, all right, and I left the bag. After I walk down King Street, they head for Euphrates Avenue because there I live. Why I remember me key for the room they in the bag where I left with the man. Then I have to go back now and talk to this man again, and I say, sir, excuse me again, I need to go for my money, but my key lay in the bag where I left with you. I repeat again, love and compassion. You know, when the man look at me straight in my eye, after that the man must read that I speak the truth. The man hand me the bag, and the man say, go and get your money and come back and pay when you're done. So that is how
And I assume that you did exactly that. You gave money and pay the man.
You can't just jump on people, send on a jail. No, man, no, because she said, I always discuss the plane on racism. I tell her, racism, I agree if they call me racist because I defend my race. And everybody will do their defending their race. Right? So, people that right away criminalize you because you are a black person, immediately. Especially if any other Oriental or East Indian people accuse you of something, immediately they believe the story. They know why you find out. Yeah, that's true. No? The point with the horse, I don't hear nothing but the horse. The last time I heard about the horse that got chopped by three young men, that they get charged for $100. But to me, that is a joke because anybody could think of, that's all I got to pay with, I don't have to worry. To me, they need more than that. Even though we talk about compassion, but to me, three young people that could be on this video and they want everybody to see them and they chop the horse, they deserve some action. They deserve some, as you mentioned a while ago, Muta Baruka said 1,000 years. I say 1,000 hours of community service. $1,000 is your fine, and $1,000 you got to spend because you really intentionally, deliberately, but mindly, you want to be seen chopping a horse.
Got it. I will give thanks to the reasoning, my brother.
Okay, my brother. Respect.
Yes, sir. It's 8:30. We break, and well, let's take this call before we go to break. Let's take this call. WB, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, Mose. Mose, I just want to say yes, the guy did pass away that got hit by a horse. I was by the hospital yesterday and I was checking on him. and he passed away yesterday morning at 12:45 a.m.
Oh wow, he's a friend or a family member of yours?
Well, somebody always passed, our old man always passed, and vibes with the people at the tire shop, you know?
Yeah, but the thing never in the news. Like, how come they never in the news?
That was surprising to me. You know, it
That
was
should
very
have been
surprising.
okay. Is there a we would want is there somebody you could advise with or make with news team link with forget the story because
Mose, I will stop by there as a girl break and I pass on the information to you know.
right. Give thanks for that.
Because it's very sad, you know, very, very sad. I love one gone just because and I think the
So what happened? What happened? The horse ran him over? What happened?
Yes, Mose, the horse ran him over.
Was somebody on the horse?
Yes, there was.
So this is kind of like if somebody in a car knocked on somebody and they did. That's what this.
It's like a hit and run.
Oh boy.
You know, it's like a hit and run.
At the very least, it's manslaughter by negligence.
You know, but.
And this happened on which street did this happen?
Right in front by the tire shop.
The tire shop on Mahogany?
Pam Vernon.
Pam Vernon here?
Yeah,
that right on the lane that happened?
Yeah, right from Pam.
Rasta. Well, I never there on the show, but I never hear nothing about this, brother. So we have to say condolences to the family, and thank you very much for confirming it. And yeah, it would be very helpful if you're able to provide us information that we could try to reach out to the family or something. And but the police should be on this. I mean, this. I mean, somebody has died, no?
Exactly.
So do we know who was riding the horse? Was it a young?
I think the family know already who was and everything. You know,
So it was a big person or a young person riding the horse?
It was a young person.
A young person, oh.
So the person that got close link with, because he only have his brother in the US, you know? So his brother is coming in to take over whatsoever and deal with it.
Okay, that's sad. That's really sad, man. That's really sad.
You know, so but it's heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking. You know, because you see the danger coming. This kid's riding his ass up and down racing. You see the danger coming. You know, it's just a matter of time. You know, it's sad that it has to be this way, but the authorities or whosoever the lion makers have to do put something in place. You know.
Agreed.
So
Agreed, and thank you again for confirming this for us. Yes, man, and thank Brick for even bringing it up, that we can try to get that confirmation. It's 8:34. We take a break. We'll come back.
I didn't sit
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Wednesday, 21st May 2025. Telephone number 280-5848. And we got special connection, Miss Kuna, out of Virginia.
Good morning, Mose. Good morning, Belize.
Good morning, my dear. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
No,
Thank God.
I'm okay.
I okay, thank God.
You're the Yankee bit there, no,
No,
Miss
no, no,
Kuna.
no, 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 no. You know I can't do that.
And he slightly yank a year just now, no one lot. One he touch, one he 2 grams a yank. All right, just make sure I should just to sort it out. All right, where you go on? You say you want put in your two cents.
No, I say I want to put in my 2 cents because out there hard to find card for God.
I think, Miss Kuna, the reality is that most Belizeans are, you know, most, I don't say all of it, but I think most Belizeans, that's how we feel when it comes to, listen, when you talk about people with that are all and do, right? You know, you got people with that are all and do, right? Going at stores, whatever and do.
Shoplift.
Yeah, right? We know they have to endorse that. We know they say
I encourage that, but if food hungry, I want.
But you know, we want to be sympathetic, especially when we talk about food, and that's cool. Yes. I think again, my problem, like I said from yesterday, is that I feel like the judge could have made better, and because the lady did end up that jail, and I don't think that may. I don't think that hold that for me gone. Because remember, you know, get convicted, right? You never get convicted of it. That matter where you never have anybody there who could provide the bail. But he had the option to make the lady do herself bail. That's what I have been told, and that should have been the option, and then started out from there. I know I can't burn out the establishment.
Give them bad name.
Yeah, I can't do that. I feel like this is our power. We got it. The judge is thinking up front of the judge will say, okay, decide where we are do ya, right? I think the least desirable outcome out of that will make the lady up that jail. I talked to the proprietor of the business, who is not in town, not at the business at the time. But nobody there wanted that to be the reality. They just wanted to hold the person accountable and sort it out. They're in the business, right? They're in a business. And yeah, you know, it's like if you know, it's wherever you go, if you short, right now I have to go make sure I pay my water bill. I don't want to get cut out. Like
Yes, because they're not the player at all, Papa. They're not the player.
Nobody lean back way for you when it comes to you owning something, right? So I get it.
One time I got bill for $2,000. That's about that. When you got restaurant, bar, hotel, resort, everything. They must make mistake.
This is another morning for encourage any burning out of BWS because I have to pay my bill.
I burn out when I'm in the yard today when I'm there with you. And I don't want, I have to make myself clear this man. I don't want nobody feel like me and you know staying the same way. We have to each other that love. Nobody
we're not worry about the commentators, man.
But I make them know how I feel. Not
all right, you know everything is good.
And thanks. I want to say good morning to me. Keep up your good work and Packling. thanks all the time, but enough love.
All right.
Enough
love.
Right.
Yeah, that the famous, world famous Miss Kuna there, the drop in out of foreign, give a leave word, give thanks, her 2 cents on matters we have discussed this morning. We love it, rate it. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We love when you talk. The telephone number 280-5848. That's the live line for you to participate in the conversation. And what people say out of bad comment good. Difficult situation, difficult scenario. Again, I know that without headlines, without people to post it on social media, on a regular basis, you got Belizeans to be compassionate to Belizeans. And they don't post it, make a big deal about it. That still exists within the community, and we want to keep it that way. We take this call. Krem, good morning, WUB.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Yeah, brother Mose. We don't have country where we sitting what happen, but we wait till it happen. We don't try to stop it before it happen, you know. The situation with the animal, the horse, I don't be jockey for years. I am a jockey. So I love horse, I ride anyone. But horse never meant for you to race on the street. You got pedestrians, we included young children and eligible people on the street. The street don't know wide enough for pedestrians and people, much less a horse to race on the street. So you have to wait till accident happen. All we see that. All we see the problem. But you see what happened now? Somebody died. Unfortunately. So something will happen now, you know. Because when they get out there on the media and social media, reaction, a lot of reaction will come. The situation with the young lady and the food, order the food, you can't they say nothing. I can't fault the establishment. People don't pick up their money for buy things to do business with. They don't pick up them. But the situation is, and they got through the court and all of that, I don't agree with the judge. Just like you, I believe leniency could have work. But leniency only work for certain people. You know, work for me and you, and for we picnic, we have to take lick. But the situation with that young lady is a mental problem. I have called her show on many occasions that we got a mental crisis in this country. And if you notice now, Brother Mose, that more and more young people that's on the street with mental issues. Young, I say a young lady walk around with a carnival costume, over and over, nobody do not call your show about it more than one time. And on the street right there, a lot of young people with mental issues. I see a lot of young men with mental issues. A young lady, young people in their teens, some of their early 20s, nobody want to do nothing about it till it become a pandemic. Then you have kind of reaction, and maybe it's so easy to pick them up and lock them up. Maybe that's they are come with. Because when they get out of hand, that's what we do. These people need to be picked up along with consent by their family member, carried to some institution and be treated not like animals. These people need medical attention. They can get back and be productive citizens in society. I have seen it happen over and over. I myself have family member way back that had mental issue uncles. So I know what people go through when they got family member with mental issue. Some of them dangerous, really dangerous. But we are wait till something happen again. Maybe one of these people with mental issue kill somebody and then a big reaction. And this is how we operate. When it comes to the teachers and their raise, which is justified because the cost of living, I don't know what you can holler with the technique. You hear what the Prime Minister said? You are cost taxpayers. But when he raised the CEO, they pay. You don't say nothing about taxpayers. Nothing you hear about taxpayers, this one cost taxpayers. But when the teachers and the public officers want to raise, they try to get sympathy for we taxpayers. Well, for me, pay the teachers then. I don't care if you owe them no raise, then don't make enough. That's for me. I don't care. You take my tax money, I pay teachers, police officers, public officers. I don't care. Them people, they out there, and then they work. Many of you cronies, then they in the office, no, they do nothing. They all kind of perps and things, and no, they do nothing. So pay this. I give you permission as a taxpayer, pay the teachers there.
All right, my brother.
Brother Mose, you have a good day.
Give
sir.
thanks for your reasoning. It's 10 away from 9. We're going to take the last break, come back and wrap. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. This is where we close down the shop for today, but tomorrow it returns, WB, Thursday morning edition. We salute the team. They make it happen. Larry G at Creme Radio and at XTV, the Globe, Pacliff, and our director this morning, Mr. Alexi Belay. We hope you have a great Wednesday with health and strength. I return on Monday morning. As always, stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
Belize, wake up, Belize. 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 Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people. Belize our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness, and